talking about sadhana. I talked about what Shri Maharaj Ji says about the rules of sadhana. How should we practice devotion? What is the benefit of sadhana shivir? But I saw in the whole day that none of you listened to that lecture. Because no point of given by Sri Maharaj Ji was followed by anyone. As I mentioned in the morning, that the first and the foremost instruction of Sri Maharaj Ji to enhance our spiritual power is do kirtan plus do not talk. Because whatever we talk, they are not necessary talks, just for nothing. We sit down, I saw two people are sitting here, people are sitting there, sitting on the table, and they were just talking the material things, no important things. This is what we have been doing since eternity. That's why we could not make any progress. When I noticed this today, so I felt bad. But think about Sri Maharaj Ji, who did so much labor with us, day and night, at the age of 90. But we did not listen to him. Obviously, when we did not listen to Sri Maharaj Ji, then how can anybody listen to me? It's not surprising though. But it is my duty. Sri Maharaj Ji has given this seva to me to keep on telling, keep on talking about these important topics. Because good and bad sanskar always occur in our life. Sometimes when we are having very good sanskar, that time it happens so that any sentence said by anyone affects very deeply. And then we start follow it. Like it happened with Tulsidas Ji Maharaj. He was so much attached to his wife. You know about his stories. But she scolded her husband, say that this is the material body. You are so much attached to this body. But if you were loving God that much, then hoti na tav bhav bhiti, you could be fearless forever. And it affected his mind and became Saint Tulsidas. So we have to, like Mahaprabhu Chaitanya also says, Avriti Rasakrudupadeshat. We have to revise the philosophy again and again so that one day we can follow that. So I talked about few topics of sadhana. Now I'm going to tell you the real meaning of sadhana and how to follow the path of sadhana, bhakti. As Shri Maharaj Ji mentioned in his speeches many times, that the best and highest scripture of bhakti is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is written by Rup Goswami Ji Maharaj. And he says, he defines sadhana. Defining sadhana, he mentions, Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavaya sadhana bhida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. In this shlok, he's saying what is sadhya, what do we have to attain, and what is attainment, sadhyata, what is achievable, what is attainment of sadhana, what do you achieve after doing sadhana. So he says, kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. Sadhana means when we do some practice, kriti sadhya, by some actions of our body. And those three actions are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Three things. Although Bhakti Prahlad talks about 9 methods of bhakti, which is called Navadha Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasya, Sakhyamatma Nivedanam. He talks about these 9 methods of bhakti. But Shri Maharaj Ji talks about 3 bhaktis. In Gita also, 3 kind of bhakti method are described. Shravan, Kirtan and Smaran. Shri Maharaj Ji also says that Shravan and Kirtan, 2 things are indispensable to attain bhakti. But the chief thing is Smaranam. Why? Because if you are involved in Shravana Bhakti means to listen to the philosophy, to listen to the attributes, pastimes, the names of God, is Shravanam. You have to Shravana. With the help of our ear, the names, attributes, etc., they reach in our heart. Then we pay attention. If the ears are here, but if we are not paying attention, in other words, smarana means the mind is not attached to Shravana, listening, then there is no use of Shravana Bhakti as well. Like all of you are sitting here, I am talking about some philosophy. If your mind is busy somewhere else, you are thinking about something else, then this is not Shravana Bhakti. You are just sitting. You are not deaf as well. But it is not Shravana Bhakti. Shravana Bhakti means listen to carefully. Like when you give any message, important message to someone, then you ask, did you hear me? Are you hearing me? Means, are you paying attention to what I am saying? Are you really listening to me? So in the same way, we have to listen. When we listen to these talks about God, or the talks which are philosophical, how to reach God, then we have to be attentive. Our ears should be very attentive. And then, Kirtanam. Sometimes we sing the glories of God. We are doing it since morning. And there also, attachment of mind is indispensable. So, Shravanam, Kirtanam. We have to listen, we have to sing the glories, but attachment of mind is compulsory. Otherwise, we have been listening to all these philosophies, all these things, in this life also, thousands of times, and in our innumerable lives in past also. We met all the saints. We met when Lord Ram descended on this earth, we met him. When Lord Krishna descended on this earth, we met him. We heard all these philosophies, all the Upadesh, many, many times. But we never listened to them. We didn't pay any attention. The Vedas also say, Shrotavya mantavyo. Shrotavyo mantavyo nididhashitavyo maitreyi. We have to shrotavyo, listen to the philosophy. Mantavyo, then you have to ponder on it. I heard this. I have to follow this. Yes, this is the right thing. If I do my sadhana in this way, I will go closer to achievement of my life, the aim of life. So I have to listen to it very carefully. We make up your mind. Ponder on this. Manan. And then nididhyasitavya. And then follow. Think about authenticity of the philosophy. Keep in your minds, very, very important to make my life. If I would listen to this philosophy, I will not rectify only this life, I will rectify millions of the future lives as well, forever. I will be blessed forever. I will be free forever if I will listen to it. So this is called mantavya, means manan, contemplate on the philosophy. And then nididhyasitavya, means we have to follow it, apply in your life. We have to do that. So Rupa Goswami ji is saying in this slok, kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. So we have to use our senses to do sadhana. Your ears should be attentive, sit attentively, and then sing. Constantly sing, and then smarana with Rup Dhyan. Think about God. Do practice of Rup Dhyan, and you know Rup Dhyan means any form of God must come in your mind, in a life divine form. Feel God himself is standing in front of me. He is here. I am seeing him. Oh, he's so beautiful. We have to create this kind of feeling in our mind. Look at his crown. It's so beautiful. Look at the peacock feather. It's looking so enchanting on his crown. Look at his curly hair. Look at his eyes, so beautiful. In that way we have to remember, if we will contemplate on each and every part of Sri Krishna from head to toe, it will take hours. We'll forget about everything else. So, manatavyaha means smarana is very, very important. So, kriti sadhya bhavet sadhyo. And then, what is sadhya? By doing this, what will we attain if you will do sadhana? Shravan, Kirtan, Manan. You are doing Kirtan all the time. Yes, you know that. Mainly there are three methods of Kirtan. Vyas Paddhati. Vyas Paddhati means Shravana Bhakti, which you are doing right now. Narad Paddhati, which we are doing before, means singing bhajans. And Hanumat Paddhati means dancing. When you are singing and dancing, it is called Hanumat Paddhati. So sometimes you can do Shramana Bhakti. Most of the time you do Kirtan Bhakti. When you are tired of doing Kirtan, then you stand up and dance. So you will not feel lazy. But we have to keep in our mind, we must practice to feel the presence of God. It's not that difficult. It depends on our practice only. Wherever you go, whatever you do, either you are sitting in satsang hall, or you are going to market, you are going to your office, you are driving your car, feel, my Guru is with me. Or Sri Krishna is with me. I am driving my car, he is sitting beside me. He is holding the steering. We have to feel the presence of God. This is very, very, very important. That is called Smarana Bhakti. So sometimes we do Kirtan in the style of Vedavyasji, sometimes in the style of Naradji, and sometimes in the style of Hanumanji, by dancing. That is called Sadhana Bhakti. And when we do sadhana, why do we do sadhana? Then in the next line, Rupa Goswami ji is saying, Nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. What is sadhyata? What is achievement? Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. The bhav of singing or listening, etc. These are the things which are nitya siddha. They are eternal. They are nitya siddha bhav. They are divine because they belong to Sri Krishna, who is divine. Anything which belongs to Sri Krishna is ananta and full of bliss because he himself is bliss. So we have to create the feeling of pronouncing the names of God, listening to the names of God, and remembering the names, the pastime, the attributes, etc. of God. Create this kind of love for God. It is called, it is sadhimis. When we will do that, then we will reach bhav bhakti. So, creation of bhav bhakti in our hriday, in our heart, is called, it is the sadhyata, it is the result of sadhana. So when we do sadhana, we should keep in our mind, what do I have to accomplish? Why I am doing sadhana? I am not simply singing like a insane, sitting here and just singing and clapping. What's the point of doing that? No. I am not simply doing that. I have to achieve something. That's why I'm sitting here since morning till night. What do we have to achieve? We have to achieve bhav. We have to achieve love for God, which is called bhav bhakti. So far we have no interest in God. We are not interested in doing kirtan, but we are doing because we have to create that interest. The creation of that interest, that you cannot live without sadhana, you cannot live without singing the names of God. You cannot live without listening to the attributes and pastimes, etc. of God. All the time you need the subject of God. That kind of bhav, the natural, the spontaneous love for the name, etc. of God is called bhav bhakti. And you have heard. The symptoms of bhav bhakti, ikshant abhyartha kalatvam viraktir manashunyata asha bandha samutkantha namagane sadaruchi atha sakti sattak gunakhyane piti sarvasthale ityadyo bhavasya jata bhavankure. The first symptom of bhav bhakti, when you will make a progress in your sadhana, then what will happen? Kshanti. The first symptom of our sadhana is kshanti. What is the meaning of kshanti? Shobhahetav viprapte kshanti rakshubhitatmata. There is a reason of being upset. There is a reason of being sad. Even then, you are normal. If your husband, wife, children, they all died together, and all your property has been stolen. All your property has gone. Even then you feel normal. Then it is called Shanti. Like Narsi Bhagat. When his house was burnt, he had nothing at all. Then he was not sad. He started dancing. He was singing. Bhayum thayum bhangi janjal sukhe bhajishum Shri Gopal. I have nothing to be worried about. Everything has gone. I am free now to sing the glories of Shyam Sundar all the time. Now I will do Kirtan freely. He is happy. This state of mind is called Kshanti. Abhyartha kalatvam. Means if you fail to do sadhana, if you fail to remember God, even for a minute, then you feel so bad. Oh, I lost. Like if everything has gone from you, then you feel, oh, now I have become like a beggar. I have nothing at all. I had a big loss. 1 minute of loss seemed like that. It is abhyartha kalatam all the time, thinking about God and enjoying. So far, we have to practice to pronounce the name of God. Even then we forget. We often forget. Again, we have to remind ourselves, no, I have to pronounce the name of God constantly, all the time. Again, we forget. So we have to do the practice gradually, so far. But when it becomes the part of your life, that you cannot live without pronouncing the names of God, without remembering God, then it is called abhyartha kalatvam. And virakti. What is the meaning of virakti? You will say vairag, detachment. What is the meaning of detachment? Detachment or virakti means viraktirindirthanam syad arochakta swayam. When you naturally do not have any interest in anything. If you are given very simple food, just roti and dal, you are eating very happily. And if you are given lots of scrumptious food, variety of food, even then you are eating with same kind of interest. Why? Because you are not interested of food, you are interested in God, and you are thinking this is the prasad of God. That's why whatever you are given to eat, you are equally happy. Whatever you are given to wear, you are equally happy. Wherever you are kept to live, you are equally happy. Either you are living in a jungle, or you are living in a palace, or you are living in an ordinary home, everything is same for you, because you are not concerned about the material things anymore. Now your mind is always engrossed in the thoughts of God. That is called vairagya, virakti. Manashunyata, the habit of giving respect to everyone without any desire of getting respect from anyone. It's called manashunyata. Asha bandha. Every time your hope is getting stronger that Shyam Sundar will come. He will definitely come. He will give me darshan for sure. Asha. यह कृपालु जी परम भरोसो कबहु तो हरि अपने ही है. He will come for sure. And then Samutkantha. After that, so much intentness to see him. बाट निहारी तिहारी पल पल कलप समान जनई है. हाय हाय करित उत्भाजत निज तन सुधि बिसरई है. अहो Hari, we will forget about our physical presence. We become oblivious completely of our physical presence. And all the time we will engross. And even if we hear any kind of sound, we feel like, oh, Shyam Sundar is coming now. These are the many symptoms. I'm not going to do the detail of all of them. They are the initial symptoms of bhav bhakti. To create bhav bhakti in our mind is the aim of our sadhana. Why? Because when bhav bhakti springs in our heart, then what happens? Now it means you are getting totally detached from this world because your love for God is increasing by leaps and bounds. Now you don't want to hear anything except anything which belongs to your Ishtadev Sri Krishna. You all the time, you want to hear about him only. You enjoy only the names, the pastime, the attributes of God. Then what happens? Anarth nivritti. Anarth nivritti. Anarth means the effect of sins. We have been committing sins since the time immemorial. We are holding the bundle of innumerable sins in our heart. That is called anarth. And there are 5, when we do sadhana, then gradually we get rid of these sins. Getting rid of these sins is called anartha nivritti. And how it happens? It happens, there are 5 levels of anartha nivritti. एकदेशीय और आंशिकी. एकदेशीय, बहुदेशीय. Means, ekdeshi means now you understand that yes, I have to keep our mind focused to my Ishtadev Shyam Sundar. You understood it and you try. You are trying to utilize your time. You understood it. And then Bahudeshiya means now you have understood and you are trying and you are able to be free from many kinds of offenses, many kind of sins. Like you see Sri Maharaj, you always say us, wherever you go, say Radhe Radhe. Whenever you are sitting together, never talk to each other. Escape yourself from talking, because you lose your special power if you talk a lot. So if we understand only that much, even then we will earn a lot. But we don't understand even that much. So when you understand this, it's called Bahudeshi Anarth Nivritti. And then Prayashi. Prayashi Anarth Nivritti means now you have understood very well and you are trying to get rid of all kind of kusang. You are always keeping in your mind, no, I don't have to do this. This is kusang. This is kusang. Anything which does not belong to God, which makes you forget about God, is kusang. That is called prayashi. Now you are very much alert. Now you know what is kusang. You know what should I not think about and what should I do. You have this firm. In theory, all of us know all that. But when we apply it in our life, then it is called that, yes, I know it. So, now the Prayashi Anarth Nivritti. And then, Purna Anarth Nivritti. Purna Anarth Nivritti means now the worldly thoughts have gone completely from your heart. You have no time to listen, to see, to get attached to any material matter, because your mind is so much engrossed now in bhakti That you want, you have, there is no room in your heart for any material thing. But still you are under the control of Maya. Maya has not gone, but you have understood and your heart has become very pure. But Maya is there. That is called Purna Anartha-nivritti. And then, after this Purna Anartha-nivritti, when all the sins have gone from your heart, you cannot even think about any material matter. After that, when the heart becomes so pure, then by the grace of God, the Maya has gone. And when Maya has gone, that kind of state of mind is called Atyantik Anartha-nivritti. It is Atyantik, means forever. Now Maya cannot capture your mind at any time, no matter where you go, what you do. But Maya cannot touch you because you have, it is called Maya Nivritti. You have traversed the ocean of Maya. That is called Atyantik Anartha-nivritti. So, when we do sadhana, what is sadhya? Our sadhya, bhav bhakti. That's all. We can do only that much. We can reach up to Purna Anartha-nivritti by sadhana. But that also happens with the grace of Guru. Without the help of Guru, we cannot reach at this state as well. After that, Guru himself will give you divine power and then you will realize God. So our aim is to reach up to Bhav Bhakti. The aim of sadhana is to reach up to Bhav Bhakti, create the natural feeling, the natural love for God is Bhav Bhakti. So sadhana means practice of what? Practice of diverting our mind from material world towards God forever. That is called sadhana and it is kriti sadhya. Kriti sadhya means you have to do something with your senses. What is? Shravan, Kirtan and Manan. You go to the temple, you go to somewhere to listen to the lecture. That is kriti. This is the work of your senses. And through these senses, you have to focus, you have to practice. And then this practice will result in Bhav Bhakti. And then Bhav Bhakti will be turned into Prema Bhakti by the grace of Guru only. So this is the sadhana bhakti. But the sadhana bhakti, there are two ways of sadhana bhakti as well. Vaidhi raga nuga chete didha syat sadhana. Vaidhi and raga nuga. Vaidhi bhakti means, Vaidhi means with which is controlled by some rules of the Vedas. Rup Goswami ji says, Yatra raganava taptvat pravitti rupajayate. Shasane naiva shastrasya vaidhi bhakti ruchyate. When you do not have any love for God, we never heard about God, we don't have any love for God, but you heard that if we will not worship God, if we will not love God, then we have to go in the cycle of death and birth for the billions of lives. We have to suffer for a very long time. Like Lord Krishna in Gita also said to Arjun, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. Don't listen to the Vedas because they are talking about Traigunya, Trigunatmika, Maya, There are different kind of actions. The Vedas are talking about all kind of actions. They are talking about tamasi actions, they are talking about rajasi actions, they are talking about the sattvic action, and they are talking about gunatit, beyond these modes of Maya as well. But we are not that intelligent, not that genius, that we can derive the essence of that what should we do. What is the meaning of talking about everything? Because they talk about all kind of actions and their result. Then we have to think that what is best for me. We have to choose. That is, we cannot do that. A human being cannot do that. And we get entangled in other karmas, the Vedic karma, which can give us only the happiness of the celestial abodes, the Swarg. That's all, not beyond that. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. You will definitely go. If you are performing good actions, not doing bhakti, you will definitely go to Swarg and you will enjoy the luxury of Swarg. But when you will enjoy all the fruits of your good deeds, then you will hurt down again in the same cycle of death and birth. That's why Arjuna, it is not wise to attain Swarg. Shukdev ji also said to Parikshit ji, Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Haririshwara Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyaschichhata Bhayam. He's saying, Parikshit, you should understand, if you will not do kirtan, you have to do kirtan, kirtavya, shrotavya, you have to listen to the pastimes of God and you have to remember Him. Then only chata bhayam, you will be fearless forever. We always scared of death. All the time, any problem comes, immediately we get upset that I should not die. We are scared of, everyone is scared of death. But if you want to be completely fearless forever, then shrotavya, kirtitavya, smartavya, cheta bhayam. So when we hear all these things from the Vedas, from the scriptures, that if we will not practice devotion, then we have to suffer a lot. Then because of the fear, when we follow the path of devotion, when we do kirtan, when we do shravana, when we remember God, that kind of sadhana is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Shasane naiva shastrasya. Because of the fear of Shastra Ved, we practice devotion. And that's why they have to listen to the Shastra Ved also. Like the Shastra says, the Vedas say, Brahme muhurte cha buddhyeta. Get up at 4 o'clock. Snanam samacharet. Then get bath. And then do this puja, then do your sadhana, etc. So they will do what the Vedas say. There are rules for everything. Whatever you do, there is some rules of the Vedas. They have to follow it. But Raga Nuga Bhakti, in that bhakti, there is no fear. When you have spontaneous love without any reason, without any fear, without any desire, if you have a love, natural love for God, and it is called Raga Nuga Bhakti. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, that virajanti, like the Brajavasi Janadeshu, the Brajavasi Parikar, those who came with God, Sri Krishna, they, their love was spontaneous love. So when we follow the ideals of those Brajavasis and we love Lord Krishna without any fear or without any allurement or without any desire, then it is called Raga Nuga Bhakti. Ragatmika Manusita Yasa Raga Nugochate. There is bhakti, the bhakti of Brajavasi, like the bhakti of Sri Krishna Sakhas, the bhakti of Nanda Baba Yashoda, the bhakti of the gopis. Their bhakti is called Ragatmika Bhakti. Their love is spontaneous, without any desire. They just love because Lord Krishna is lovable. Why do you love Sri Krishna so much? I don't know. He's so loving. I cannot live without loving him. This kind of spontaneous love is called Ragatmika Bhakti. But it can found only in the associates of Sri Krishna. The Brajavasi, when Lord Krishna descended at that time, Sakhas, Gopis, Maya Yashoda, Nanda Baba, their love is called Ragatmika Bhakti. And Ragatmika Manusita. And that bhakti which follows the ideals of Ragatmika Bhakti is called Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous. There is no rule. You don't have to follow. You are not bound to follow the rules of the Ved and Shastra. But you follow the spontaneous love. Love without any desire of Brajavasis. That kind of bhakti is called Raga Nuga Bhakti. We must understand here one thing, because I have seen many devotees misunderstand Raga Nuga Bhakti. When it is said that there is no rule of Raga Nuga Bhakti, it is spontaneous. There is no rule of time, there is no rule of a place, there is no rule of a direction. There is no rule that you have taken bath or not. Without bath you cannot start your bhakti. Nothing like that. Then sometimes we become so whimsical that we derive the meaning of Raga Nuga Bhakti that you do whatever you want. It's so ridiculous. I know there was a devotee, he came from ISKCON because they follow the rules. Their bhakti is Vaidhi Bhakti. When he came in our satsang, then he was very happy. He said, I'm very happy to come over here. Why? Because we don't have to follow any rule. We are free. And then he was so free that he got attached to another satsangi girl and he got married. And he said, we can do anything in Raganuga Bhakti. Don't misinterpret. Raganuga Bhakti is not that, it does not teach us Uchankalta. We don't have to become whatever we want to do. No. It's not that. There's a little difference. In the beginning, when we are sadhak, we have to follow some rule, but we are not bound to follow the rules of scripture. You can understand it like this. Suppose you get up early in the morning at 3 o'clock and you started doing your sadhana. You're doing your sadhana and now it is 6 o'clock. This is the time of Aarti. You are doing sadhana, you are shedding tears, your mind is very well fixed, you are doing a very nice sadhana. And now it is 6 o'clock. Then Vaidhi Bhakti would know it is the time of Aarti. You go and do Aarti. You can do sadhana later on again, that's a different thing. This is the time of Aarti. So you have to do Aarti. So he has to leave that bliss of sadhana which he was enjoying. But Raganuga Bhakti would say, No, no, no. If you are doing sadhana very well, because it happens really that your Rup Dhyan is good and you are shedding tears also, your heart is full of love and devotion, then forget about Aarti. You can do Aarti later on. What's the problem? Do Aarti later. Keep on doing your sadhana because it happens rarely. And you are so fortunate. They are doing so good Rup Dhyan and you are shedding tears. You are doing sadhana very well. So forget about Aarti, you can do Aarti later. Do Aarti after, when you are tired, when this kind of bhav is over, then do Aarti. This is the only difference. But we have to be, we have to follow some rules too. If you will not make a rule that I will get up at that time and then I will do sadhana, then there will be no casual for your sadhana. Sometimes you will get up early in the morning, you will do sadhana. Sometimes you will not get up, then you will not do sadhana. And after that, one day it will be finished. We also have to follow the rules in the beginning. Everything goes on well only when we bind ourselves with some rules. We have to follow the rules, for sure. Raga Nuga Bhakti means there are two things, Anugat and Anukaran. Anugat means follow their path, go behind them. And Anukaran means do whatever they are doing. The gopis, the condition, the state of gopis are so high. They have no desire of their own happiness. Day to night, whatever they do, only for the happiness of Sri Krishna. They have no desire for self at all. So, whatever they are doing, their love is spontaneous, their love is natural. We cannot follow them directly. We cannot imitate them. Rather, we have to follow. Their ideology is that whatever you are doing, that's sukha sukhitvam. You have to think about the happiness of Sri Krishna only. That's it. So gopis do not do anything at all if it does not give happiness to Sri Krishna. They do everything only for the happiness of Sri Krishna. Many people misinterpret the love of the gopis. When I have question answer session, many people ask me that can I have Madhurya Bhav for my guru? Because they think Madhurya Bhav is something which could be called a physical relationship. Madhurya Bhav of gopi is not a physical relationship. This is totally a relationship of heart. This is totally a relationship of total sacrifice. Who could be that? No, the gopis. They didn't know that there is anything like self-desire as well. They were doing everything for Shyam Sundar, only for the happiness of Shyam Sundar. Many people ask me that they never embraced Lord Krishna, they never kissed Lord Krishna, they never talked to Lord Krishna. No, no. Embracing or kissing someone is an expression of love. Like a mother kisses her son, a father kisses her daughter. It's not something reprehensible. It's not which is something bad, disgusting, no. Because their bhav is different. And why they are kissing their daughter or son? To please him. In this world also, a mother kisses her son to please her son, because this is the expression of love. So she does it. But in material love, a mother kisses her son to please him, but there is a hidden desire also of self-happiness. She enjoys. If she is kissing her son and said, why are you doing that? Get out! Don't touch me. Then she will not be happy. Because the son was not happy, and that's why she is not, she also not happy. But in the spiritual realm, it doesn't happen. Sri Krishna embrace them or scold them, and then he can also say that I don't know who you are. Get out from here. In all these situations, the gopis' love is same. It is ever increasing in all kind of situations. Like Maharaj Ji has written a bhajan very nicely. Pran dhan जीवन कुंज बिहारी उर लगाय भुज भरी हरि चाहे पुरवहु आस हमारी चाहे मोही तड़पाओ मोरी मुख पग ठुकराहु मुरारी. You can do only three things. Either you will accept me, you will embrace me, or you will be neutral towards me. Who are you? I don't even know you. Who are you? Go. Or pag, get out from here. Why did you come here? You'll scold me. What else can you do? But jehi vidh piya sukh pahu karahu soi mo kaha soi sukh bhari. In whatever way you are happy, that happiness of yourself is unbearable happiness for me. Your happiness, in any way you are happy, that is unbearable happiness of myself. There is no objection, no mood of, nothing like that. Oh, he didn't, I came to meet him and he said to me like this. He did not even recognize me. No, it is not the nature of love. So we have to follow these ideals of the gopis. And then we have to reach up to their standard. We cannot just imitate them. That will be aparadh, an offense, like a king. The queen serves the king in her way, but her maidservant helps the queen. But if the maid start doing the same seva, same thing to king, then it will be reprehensible. That will be disgusting. That will be punishable if she does like that. So in the same way, we cannot exactly imitate them, but we have to go behind them. So this love is called Raga Anuga Bhakti, when we love Lord Krishna only for the happiness of Sri Krishna. Shri Maharaj Ji is teaching us, he taught us the bhakti of Raga Anuga. He never talked about Vaidhi Bhakti. There is no room for Vaidhi Bhakti in Shri Maharaj Ji's organization, Maharaj Ji's association. He always taught us Raga Anuga, love Sri Krishna without any desire, without any return. Just love for love. Love him because he alone is lovable. Why do we love? Why should we love him? To attain his seva. Why should we attain his seva? For his happiness. To give happiness to him, we have to do his seva. This is the main ideology of Raga Anuga Bhakti, which we have to follow. So when we are doing sadhana over here, we have to increase our sadhana, starting for kirtan. We are at the initial stage. We have not even started the sadhana in the right way. So what we have to do, sit down here all the time, maximum time. We have only 2.5 days for this sadhana. And we have to practice devotion here. There are something which help us in sadhana. That when we are doing sadhana, Brahma Sutra says the first thing that asina sambhava, you have to sit properly with the mood that I am going to do my sadhana. Smarati cha. Then you have to remind yourself, now I have to remember God. And then, after that, we have to sit straight. People sit, I was seeing that she's leaning on this and she was sleeping. Naturally, when you have more comfort in the body, you will be sleepy, you will be lazy. Never do it. Sit straight. And dhyanacha, then do roop dhyan. And then the last thing, the apranayat. Do not give up if you are doing sadhana. Sometimes we do sadhana. Try our best to do roop dhyan. But still our mind goes in the world. You try your best again and again to do roop dhyan. But you feel like no. Then you say, "Abhi, hamara to man lag nahi raha hai." Man lag nahi raha hai, what do you mean? Man is not a machinery, automatic machinery you put on the switch and it will be fixed. No. We have to man ko lagana, to practicing. That the mind should think about God only. It will go to the world, drag it again and fix it towards God. It will go again in the world. Bring it again. It is sadhana. If your mind is focused totally, whenever you sit, wherever you are, and you can remember God anywhere, then it is not sadhana, it is siddhi. We are doing sadhana for this siddhi. So first of all, we have to do sadhana. Then we can attain siddhi. So we have to do sadhana, pranayat. If we are doing sadhana for the entire life and we could not attain God realization, even then keep on doing that. That we have to do. We have to start from this, that we should keep on doing practice. So these are the main rules of sadhana. Do kirtan, try your best to focus, do roop dhyan, and there are few things which we have to rectify. That mostly when we see the murti or the photos, we have to take the support of any photo or murti to do roop dhyan. But when we look at the photos, when we look at the picture of God, which is the support for us to do roop dhyan, we have the feeling that it is the picture. We have the feeling it is the stone. It is not God himself is sitting in this murti. It is just a stone. That is also an offense. We must not have the bhavana of stone in murti. When we pronounce the name of God, we feel that we are pronouncing the words. No. The bhavana of words in the name is also an offense. So whenever we pronounce the name of God, feel like I am pronouncing the name of God. When I am pronouncing the name of God, God himself would come here. He has to be here because God resides in his name. So when we say Radhe, Radhe has to appear here. She will appear here because there is no difference between Nam and Nami. Number 3, we often have the feeling of a human being in our Guru. That is also big offense. Never feel namarte buddhya suyet sarvadeva mayo guru. The Guru is not different. He is not less than God. God himself is saying in Bhagavad, Sarvadeva Mayo Guruhu. Guru is God Himself. So Namarte Buddhya Suyat. Never look at him as a human being. Acharya Mam Vijaniyat. Whenever you look at your Guru, feel like I am there. Lord Krishna Himself is saying, feel like I am sitting in His form. Janat tumahi hoy jai. After realization of God, the Mahapurush, the saint, also become God. We have to have this knowledge whenever we look. Because if we do not have this feeling for God, for our Guru, then we won't listen to him. This is the reason why Sri Maharaj Ji has told us so many times. He has given so many instructions to us, we don't listen. We give first preference to our body, to our family, to other material matters. Why? Because we don't listen to our Guru. Why don't we listen? Because we do not have faith that He is God Himself. Whatever He is saying, if we will follow His all instructions, then immediately we will realize God. Guru ke vachan pratiti na jehi, sapne hu sukh siddhi sulabh na tehi. और जे गुरु पद पंकज अनुरागी, ते लो कहूँ वेदहूँ बड़ भागी. They are very fortunate who listen to their Guru because they know Acharya Mam Vijani, and they know the meaning of this. They know God. There is no difference between God and Guru. That's why they achieve. They said that if I love my Guru more than Sri Krishna, if it is true that I love my Guru more than Sri Krishna, then Sri Krishna must appear right now in front of me. And Sri Krishna had to appear. So we have to keep all these things when we are doing sadhana. And I will request you again to listen. Just remember these words of Sri Maharaj Ji. Then when you come for sadhana, please control at least on one thing, that is talking. Do not talk to each other. You have to sing all the time over here. You are not just shutting your mouth. No, you have to sing whole day. But do not talk to each other. Avoid talking. Because if you talk, then you lose your spiritual power. Whatever we earn over here, we spend everything in talking. That's unnecessary talks. You have to say one word. Whatever you can say in 1 or 2 words, you keep on saying lengthy sentences. There's no use. We are losing our spiritual power. We are just condemning all our sadhana, whatever we did over here. So we keep, because we are here for our own benefit. So attain the benefit. Sit in the sadhana as much as you can. When you are tired, you can stand up. You go behind, you can dance. You can do sadhana standing over there. If you have to go, you just walk a little and then come back again. But try your best to utilize this small time as much as you can. As much as you can. Sri Mahaji sent me here, and I am also doing labor with all of you only because the seva is given to me. I am also doing my seva, and you also attain the maximum benefit. Whatever Sri Maharaj is giving you, why should you not take the benefit? It is free now. So take the maximum benefit. This is the meaning of sadhana. This is what we have to do. Boliye Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki jai. Ladli Lal ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So after